All right, so this woman writes, is social media the answer? Background, she's 38, divorced a couple of years ago, took some time to clear my head, started the dating scene earlier this year. Using Bumble hasn't really been good. Match has led to 8 dates. That's not too bad. With 4 different gals. Okay, actually, this is a guy writing this post. He's 38. Haven't found what I'm looking for yet. That's probably what you'll experience. It's like, well, it's kind of a numbers game as far as just going through dates, maybe until you really find or basically revise your criteria so you can find somebody that really works well with you. Because it's just like the reality is, it's not always going to work with another person that you're with on a date. The progress I've had so far seems to be slowing down despite how frustrating online dating can be. I keep a positive outlook and remain optimistic as finding a serious relationship is very important to me. I got to keep myself out there because it's not going to fall in my lap. Yeah. So I've never been on a social media ever. Okay, you're saying, is social media the answer? It's important to be known, so if you can get known on social media or you have like a huge following, um, then that can be almost like the pre-qualification for you. But if you're trying to use social media to like message her and just avoid like just in-person meetups or whatever, that's a bad way to go because it's like if you do the Instagram, Facebook messaging, oftentimes it just leads to more like creepy behavior that doesn't really get good results. And so, still, I mean, the best way to do it is just asking someone out in person. It's like, well, you also have to know and understand that women really put a high value on how you met. So it's like they want a story that they can tell other people, or it's just kind of like a more intimate or romantic, if you will, just kind of setup, especially if it's for like a long term relationship, because people are going to ask, hey, how'd you meet? Oh, met on Bumble, compared to, well, we were on this train, or I just flew over here, or we were on this flight and we're going to the same location. And then you'll never believe it, but we were in the same hotel and then we were just on the same hall too, and we saw each other, and we just had that connection. We started a conversation again after talking on the plane, and now we basically, well, one thing led to another, and here we are. That would be just a much more engaging story than, hey, we met on Bumble. Um, And what you also find is your success rate is much higher if you're asking women out in person, especially if you know how to do it. Hey, when are you free to get together? What's your schedule availability? But first, what you do is basically just talk to her about anything random. So I was like on flights today, and so just making conversation with people sitting next to me. It didn't matter if I was interested in them. That's not what I was seeking. I was just seeking to basically break the ice and then just, well, get better at skills and just have that connection, have a fun time traveling someplace you know. So how you do that? Well, hey, where are you going? Where are you traveling? Is this your last stop? Do you have any more flights today? Whatever the situation calls for, just easy stuff like that. Where I talked to another guy today about his guitar. He's like, hey, I asked him what kind of guitar he had in the case. And then there you go. Now it's a conversation starter, but it's just like the same thing happens with just trying to make friends or make like dating relationships, or get dates or get phone numbers. It's make it easy, dude. It's just make it easy to break the ice. And then once you do that, then be direct, decisive, assume she will say yes, and say like, hey, I'd love to see you again. When are you free? Or what's your schedule availability? Or what's your number? That simple. And then it's like, wait a few days and then call her and see if her attraction's there. If it is there, if she seems excited to hear from you, then you set a date. About a year ago, ran into an old friend from grade school. We hit it off very well, and it was awesome. But she is just out of a long-term relationship and needs to figure things out. Okay, well, still, it's open game, dude. It's like, even though she might say that, I just need some space, and she might actually need it. It's like, well, no, it's like, great. So I really like the idea of using it to maybe make a reconnection. Sure, dude. But it's just like if you're gonna try to approach it through social media and have like 3 followers and no profile pic, it's like that's not gonna work. Um, so if you're gonna just basically get a hold of her cold, give her a call. Give her a phone call. Also, it is possible to use the likes of Facebook to get involved in some activities like volleyball, softball, rock climbing, hiking, and such. Also, is it possible to use the likes of Facebook to get involved in some activities? Dude, just go sign up for those activities. That's probably the way to do it. Don't like tag or whatever you're kind of referring to. Am I best off just staying away from social media? Not necessarily, dude. I mean, it's probably not gonna. It'll at least give you some awareness, especially if you're trying to convert from online dating. If you have a decent profile on your social medias, it's she's probably gonna look you up. Just kind of do research if you met through online dating. Seems like no one has anything good to say about it, and it only causes depression. Nah, you can't do that. You can't basically label it like that. I mean, almost every person, at least in the United States, has social media stuff, and they have it for a reason because it's really awesome. It's a way to really connect so many different people. Is the Facebook dating thing any good? I haven't actually tried the Facebook dating one. I'm on, mainly Tinder, Bumble, but I have some other profiles. But side question, I've stayed away from Tinder as I've heard bad things. It's well, you're hearing bad things about social media, bad things about Tinder. It's maybe you're just looking for bad things, man. Lots of bots, fake profiles, scams, trashy folks. Hey, whatever, dude. And it's an avenue worth going down. It's well, if you're really committed, why not? Why not give it a shot? But I'd say there's no way better than just meeting people in person and improving your skills at just breaking the ice. So everywhere you go, try to talk to one person a day, just break the ice. Start up a conversation. Whether it's at the gym, did one yesterday at the gym, just hey, are you from around here? And started up a conversation, cool conversation, But just it's the more you do it, it's just it's no big deal. It's just you notice something random, and it's just you break the ice like that. And then that one thing leads to another. So if it's a beautiful woman or whatever, and you read her attraction after you've broken the ice and she seems engaged with you and you feel like she's attracted to you, then it's really an invitation to make a move. And that is the best strategy that you can get.